News.
On World News Tonight, the national energy crisis this summer. The Bush administration tells federal agencies to cut back. Record heat in the east already. California was serious about getting power from a nuclear submarine. The painkiller that some people swear by and others swear will kill you. Back to Cincinnati 3 weeks after the riots. We'll take a closer look at the plans and the promises so it will not happen again. And we'll pay a visit to the Apalachicola National Forest. What on earth are these people doing?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin tonight with a situation in parts of the country that we may end up covering every day this summer. The increasing demand for energy when there is not enough, at least not readily available. This is a practical problem for millions of people who know how unusually warm it is for the 3rd of May. It is a political, economic issue from the State House to the White House. Today, the Bush administration has ordered federal agencies across the country, particularly in California, to cut back on their use of power. In other words, to conserve. ABC's John Cochran is at the White House tonight. John, earlier in the week, the vice president said conservation was a virtue, but not the way to go. What's happened?
Well, Peter, the president's aides told him that he had to do something about California, and he had to do something now, and this was the quickest thing he could do.
Today, I'm instructing all agencies, federal agencies, to reduce their peak hour electricity use in the state of California.
The president's directive actually orders all federal agencies all over the country to reduce energy consumption. But the emphasis is on California, where Mr. Bush is sending his energy secretary, Spencer Abraham, tonight. The federal government uses only 2% of California's electricity, mostly at military bases, which estimate they can conserve 10% of what they use. As for Vice President Cheney's remarks downplaying the importance of conservation, the president said it's a matter of balance.
What the vice president and I understand is that you cannot conserve your way to energy independence. We can do a better job in conservation, but we darn sure have to do a better job of finding more supply.
So, Peter, for this president, conservation is a solution, but at best a temporary solution, both for California and the rest of the country.
Thank you, John. John Cochran at the White House. Let's look at this regionally. The West has had energy issues for many months. Supply, demand, price, all of which is made more complicated by California's deregulation mess. It is worse in California than other parts of the West, but like the transmission lines and the pipelines that make up the energy web, there is a connection between everything. Here's ABC's Neil Karlinski.
It's bad throughout the West. In California this summer, federal workers will go without escalators and air conditioning part of the time to save power. In Montana, private companies say they may tap into diesel trains for power. In Tacoma, Washington, huge new generators have been set up. In California, officials have even discussed asking the Navy to wire a nuclear submarine into the state's power grid. The energy shortage in California is expected to mean that for more than 30 days this summer, there may be rolling blackouts affecting nearly 9 million customers. There are 3 problems.
A shortfall in generation, a shortfall in transmission, and a shortfall in systems which will help us conserve electricity.
The state faces huge demand at a time when deregulation has left utilities unable to pay for all the power needed. Things are particularly bad for Northern California because aging transmission lines cannot carry electricity from the south, where there are more power plants, to the north, where there is more demand. As if all this wasn't bad enough, a drought in the Northwest means there won't be enough hydroelectric power for the region as a whole, including the other western states which rely on it. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, there is something that California and New York have in common after all. The energy problem is somewhat different in the East in that deregulation is not the issue. But with the temperature soaring today, it was 90 in some places, getting power to the consumer is everything. And when demand is high, you can practically hear the transmission towers groaning. ABC's Bill Redeker is going to cover the East for us. He's in Brooklyn, New York, Bill, for a very good reason.
Here in New York City, Peter, the problem came sharply into focus this week when Con Edison announced that it was going to restart this old and air-polluting power plant to help meet summertime demand. From Maine to Massachusetts to New York, today's hot weather was a reminder that some of the East Coast could face a problem. New York City alone, with 8 million residents and 200,000 businesses, consumes 1/3 of the state's electricity. And most of it must be produced within the city. That's because transmission lines from upstate are already overburdened. To avoid a blackout and provide a margin of safety, the New York Power Authority is installing 10 new microturbine generators, enough electricity for 400,000 homes. For the rest of the Northeast, electricity should be plentiful this summer. 7 new power plants have come online, and Canada is also supplying electricity. Though it may cost consumers more, a hot summer and the demand it creates could increase electricity bills by 30%. Now, officials warn that if the plant here and those other 10 don't come online by June 1st, New York could be seriously threatened, and any glitch, Peter, could lead to blackouts.
Many thanks, Bill. Bill Redeker, who's here in the East. By the way, a couple of other items for anyone who thinks they may be unaffected by this. Industry analysts say that record prices for electricity this summer are a given because a growing number of power plants, and that includes you in the Midwest and also in Louisiana, which run on natural gas, has doubled in price. At abcnews.com, there is a state-by-state analysis of the energy problem. And finally, just to compound the bad news, the Energy Secretary told Congress earlier today that the national retail price for gasoline this summer may average between $1.60 and $1.70. That's the average. Spencer Abraham said if a refinery had to close down or there was pipeline trouble, prices could be temporarily higher. Other items in the national briefing today, the Bush administration says it will not seek to overturn a late Clinton administration initiative to make about 60 million acres of national forest off limits to new development. The administration does say it has some problems with the ruling and may make changes in time. The legislature in Florida has approved a sweeping bill to overhaul the Florida voting system. Those punch cards, which caused all the trouble in the presidential election, will be gone by 2002. Most of Florida's counties will use paper ballots counted by optical scanners. In California, customs officials have seized a massive haul of smuggled ivory, the largest seizure ever made on the West Coast. 260 pounds of African elephant ivory worth about $375,000. For the last 10 years, under most circumstances, importing ivory has been illegal. On Capitol Hill today, a House committee began hearings about how the FBI uses informants to pursue criminal investigations. The first witness was a man who says the FBI let him languish in prison for more than 3 decades so an informant could go free. Here's ABC's Pierre Thomas.
Joseph Salvati spent 30 years in prison because the FBI, he says, allowed him to be framed for murder. He says the FBI knew he was innocent and had the evidence to prove it, but did nothing.
They took my family, they took birthdays of my children, they took christenings, and they took when my kids were sick, I wasn't there to hold them, and it's just a horrendous thing.
Even though I had a husband, he belonged to the state. He never really belonged to me while he was incarcerated.
Salvati's nightmare began with the 1965 killing of a Boston area mobster. Salvati was convicted based solely on the testimony of a top FBI informant, Joseph the Animal Barboza.
I may be all kinds of birds, but
Barboza, a known killer, may have actually planned the murder himself. And internal FBI memos show FBI officials, including Director J. Edgar Hoover, knew their informant might have been involved, but wanted to protect him even from a murder charge. Salvati's attorney says the FBI protected Barboza because he was crucial to taking down the New England Mafia. Today's hearing highlighted the Salvati's story.
And he would give them their father's guidance, even though he was not home with them.
when God made my marriage, they threw them all away.
Later, a congressman challenged one of the FBI agents who had information that might have cleared Salvati years ago.
You don't really care much, and you don't really have any remorse. Is that true?
Would you like tears or something? What?
The Salvatis have shed more than 30 years worth of tears. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back this evening, some of the other news, the prescription painkiller that is killing people who abuse it. Tonight, we'll take a closer look at the city trying to avoid another round of violence. And we're going to honor an American tradition. Listen carefully.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by GMC.
Engineer Tom Sutter is a student of tranquility. For the all-new GMC Envoy, he and his team used hydroform technology to absorb vibrations for a surprisingly comfortable ride. They also gave Envoy a 270-horsepower best-in-class engine. They want you to feel relaxed, not fall asleep. Introducing the all-new GMC Envoy.
Who knows how long you'll live? Who knows how you'll die? If you have high cholesterol, will a heart attack make your life run out before it has to? Imagine there was a way to reduce your risk of a heart attack to help extend your life. Wouldn't you? Ask your doctor about Pravachol. If you're dieting and exercising and you still have high cholesterol, adding Pravachol can make a difference. Other drugs can lower cholesterol, but only Pravachol is proven to help prevent both first and second heart attacks, to help you live a longer, healthier life. Pravachol, a prescription drug, is not for everyone, including women who are pregnant or nursing or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Because serious side effects can result, tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Pravachol, and about any medications you are taking. He may do blood tests to check for liver problems. Ask your doctor. Make the Pravachol today. Pravachol. Help make the story of your life a longer one.
Whoa! Lawn weeds, huh, Pete?
Yeah.
Try Ortho Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, won't harm your lawn. Guaranteed.
Didn't hurt my lawn.
Lawn weeds? Leave it to Ortho.
Time to relax. What a time for bad heartburn. Try Extra Strength Mylanta. It works on tough nighttime heartburn fast. So go ahead, relax, if you can. Extra Strength Mylanta.
There is a prescription painkiller in the news today for all the wrong reasons. OxyContin is a bestseller as drugs go, and many patients swear by it. But it turns out to be fiercely addictive. ABC's Jeffrey Kaufman reports from Florida.
There are few cancers more excruciating than pancreatic cancer, yet Madeline Thompson is almost pain-free.
Today, it's here, right through here, like under the rib cage.
Twice a day, Thompson is taking OxyContin, a time-release painkiller more effective than morphine.
I can carry on a relatively normal life. I can exercise moderately. I can eat what I want, and I owe that all to really OxyContin.
Lorraine Horton was also a fan of OxyContin. It helped her control the pain of a herniated disc. But on Easter weekend, her 17-year-old son, Justin, took 3 pills from her bedside for a high like heroin. It killed him.
Lock it up. Treat it as if it was a loaded gun lying on your bed.
In just 5 years on the market, OxyContin has quickly become one of the best-selling brand-name drugs in the world, even outselling Viagra, with sales last year of over $1 billion. According to the government, no new prescription drug in the last 20 years has been as widely abused as quickly as OxyContin. In Palm Beach alone, abuse of OxyContin or its base oxycodone is suspected in the deaths of 14 people in the last month. A security camera in Cleveland caught one man so desperate for OxyContin, he held up a pharmacy. And in rural Kentucky, where heroin is hard to come by, users have discovered that by grinding the OxyContin pill or dissolving it, they can get an instant high.
It's something that nobody wants to do. It's worse than cocaine.
OxyContin has been marketed heavily by its manufacturer, but the company insists it has done nothing wrong.
It's only when people abuse it, like any prescription drug, that they run the risk of danger.
Because of the abuse, the government has asked the manufacturer to cut back its marketing of the drug. But because it's so effective for so many in severe pain, outlawing it would be unthinkable. Jeffrey Kaufman, ABC News, Fort Lauderdale.
In the overseas briefing today, the government of China went after President Bush again in response to his proposed new national missile defense system. The state-run People's Daily newspaper called Mr. Bush a weak leader and said his plans could threaten world peace. In Asia, Japanese authorities have detained a man believed to be the eldest son of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. They say he was trying to enter the country on a fake passport, and he told officials he wanted to visit Tokyo's Disneyland. At the United Nations today, the United States was voted off the UN's Human Rights Commission, making this the first time the U.S. has not been a member. The commission promotes human rights throughout the world. The U.S. played a central role in founding it. Its first chairman was Eleanor Roosevelt. It was a secret ballot, and the U.S. is being replaced by Sudan. We learned today that former Beatle George Harrison has had a cancerous growth removed from one of his lungs. Harrison's lawyers say the operation here was a success. Their statement, "We like it," borrows from Mr. Harrison's lyrics. Although all things must pass away, George has no plans right now and is still living in the material world. When we come back, the city in search of itself, Cincinnati, after the riots.
You choose to be healthy. You choose to be successful. You choose to give back. You choose to be yourself. The choices you want, the voice you need to make the most out of life. Today's AARP.
I asked my doctor about Lipitor. Have you?
Ask your doctor what Lipitor can do for you and call 1-888-LIPITOR or visit our website to learn more.
My dry, itchy skin would flare up. I just wanted to hide.
Cordate helps heal and protect dry, itchy skin fast with maximum strength medicine and special moisturizers.
My skin was healed.
First aid, fast aid, Cordate.
Our vision of the future? To see more family and friends.
Because health concerns change after 50, Centrum Silver added lutein. Emerging science suggests that lutein and other nutrients may help reduce the risk of cataracts. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
Every other store you go to, you get paperwork, you get sales pitches, and you don't get to play.
He wanted to shoot digital video. We looked at the Gateway Performance line, which features Intel's Pentium 4 processors.
It's like having a big friend that knows all about computers, who knows everything it is that's out there, all the different things that will work for me.
There's no place like Gateway Country. Come on in for a great deal on a Gateway Performance PC.
Ever notice how many Tums you have around because your heartburn keeps coming back? There's a neater idea. New Pepcid Complete. It works as fast as Tums, but lasts 7 times longer, all in a chewable tablet. New Pepcid Complete. Just one, and heartburn's gone.
Secretariat. He had brilliant speed. He was the perfect horse. Sports Century, the top 50 and beyond. Weeknights at 8, only on ESPN Classic.
Tomorrow, we're sailing around the world's most famous island, Manhattan. From the Statue of Liberty to Harlem, one big island, one really big show on Good Morning America.
We're going back to Cincinnati tonight to take another look. Cincinnati's been a tortured city this spring. The riots 3 weeks ago left the city depressed and angry. Today, a grand jury was convened to hear evidence in the killing by the police of a 19-year-old boy whose death was the final straw for many of those who rioted. ABC's Aaron Brown went back to ask, what now?
At first glance, Cincinnati looks fairly calm, but the city may be just one incident away from erupting again.
I hope that doesn't happen, but it's out there. I know it's out there.
You are ordered to disperse the car. Now. In the days since the rioting here, the air has been filled with promises to deal with the causes of the city's racial strife. Last week, the city and its corporate elite agreed to fund 3,000 summer jobs for inner-city kids, but so far that's the only real plan. Everything else is just a promise to reform police.
In 6 months, we should be able to have changed our city charter so that we can access top talent at the head of our police force, and that the head of the police force really can run that department with the appropriate disciplines.
Today, the chief must come from within the department. Voters will be asked to change that system. The city has also promised that within 6 months, there will be real plans to improve economic life in African-American neighborhoods and reduce the dropout rates, which approach 2/3 in some inner-city schools.
This time, we don't even want to report. I mean, we know what the problem is. We want people engaged in implementation strategies, period. If another report comes out of this, we fail.
If all of this sounds familiar to the residents of Cincinnati, black and white, there's a good reason. They've been hearing about similar plans and similar promises for more than 30 years. After the riots in 1967 and 68, there were similar promises. The police department would be reformed, neighborhoods damaged would be restored. And while there have been improvements, a drive through the Avondale neighborhood shows striking signs of promises unfulfilled and offers a reason to be skeptical today. But the mayor insists it can and will be done.
Mark Twain said he wants to be in Cincinnati when the world comes to an end because things happen 10 years late here. But normally when we get to things, we solve them.
If that happens, Cincinnati will have accomplished something it has never done before. Aaron Brown, ABC News, Cincinnati.
One other item from Cincinnati this week. Yesterday, the city manager resigned just as the city council was about to vote on firing him for not showing more effective leadership. When we come back this evening, do you know what this man is doing?
I may look young, but I still suffer from hot flashes. I discovered a natural way to deal with it. Healthy Woman, from the makers of Monistat.
Healthy Woman's a soy menopause supplement that helps relieve hot flashes and night sweats. Healthy Woman.
Roundup.
What, Papa?
Roundup. Never forget that name. It will be your greatest enemy when you take over the weed family.
Me? Leave the family? Papa!
Pay attention. No Roundup is twice as strong now. Faster than ever. It kills right down to the root.
Stronger, faster, no!
Yes, and there's no growing back.
So when I take over, we'll all be dead?
New Roundup. Twice as strong. Faster than ever. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
I could dance all night back then. So I was thrilled when my oldest grandson wanted to follow in my footsteps. But before our first lesson, I had a heart attack. I needed to lower my cholesterol.
How will you take care of your high cholesterol and heart disease?
I tried diet and exercise, but it was still too high. So I asked my doctor about Zocor. He told me Zocor, along with diet, can really get your cholesterol down. And Zocor's proven to significantly reduce the risk of heart attack among people with high cholesterol and heart disease. Now my cholesterol is right where it should be.
Zocor is a prescription medicine and is not for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems. Because serious side effects can result, tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience and about any medicines you are taking. For more information about Zocor, talk to your doctor.
Be good to yourself. It's your future. Be there.
Buying or selling a home? RE/MAX agents lighten that load. Averaging more than 13 years experience, they work the kind of practical magic that sets you free. RE/MAX.
My dry, itchy skin would flare up. I just wanted to hide.
Cordate helps heal and protect dry, itchy skin fast with maximum strength medicine and special moisturizers.
My skin was healed.
First aid, fast aid, Cordate.
This has more calcium than Tums?
It's true. Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables have more calcium than regular Tums.
That's even better.
And they dissolve faster than Tums.
I'm gonna go for the Maalox.
Quick dissolve your heartburn away and get more calcium.
No doubt about it.
Next on K2 News, a new study says if you're black in Portland, you're more than 2.5 times more likely to get pulled over by police. Also, a mother says the Portland School District did nothing to stop her 7-year-old daughter from being molested by a classmate at school. Now she's suing. The disturbing details, all the day's news coming up next at 6:30.
Tomorrow, they are rich, famous, and addicted to drugs. Is it their personalities and their professions that make them vulnerable? Does public attention make recovery difficult? Watch World News Tonight.
Just a brief review of the main story this evening, the energy crisis. The Bush administration today ordered federal agencies across the country, particularly in California, to cut back on their use of power. Now, finally this evening from us, tradition. Some traditions in the South go back so far that no one can quite remember when they began, and we admit it's very refreshing to come on a way of doing things that has not been taken up by technology. Mind you, the characters in this piece were pretty far out of the way. ABC's Ron Claiborne reports from Florida.
Deep in Florida's Apalachicola National Forest, in the dim light of dawn, you will find them. They are practicing the centuries-old art of grunting, calling up earthworms from the ground.
Looking pretty sweet, ain't it?
It's called grunting because of the strange sound created by rubbing a curved steel bar, the grunting iron, over a wooden stake driven into the ground.
As it vibrates the ground, something about it irritates these worms and drives them up onto the surface.
Hundreds, sometimes thousands of earthworms, prized fishing bait, pour from the ground. Spring is prime grunting season when hundreds of people come out. Ellis Stewart has been doing it for 40 years, though he's beginning to slow down.
Most anybody can get them up if you had to have that hand to move fast. And mine is slowed up.
Others like Reuben Hill grunt full-time.
How many you got?
With keen eyes and fast hands, he can pick up 5,000 worms in just 2 or 3 hours. Expert grunters can make more than $1,000 a week during peak fishing season, when fishermen from Mississippi to the Carolinas pay premium prices for this rare species of worm.
They good to fish with. They good fish bait. Probably the best around.
Grunting is a major part of the local economy in this depressed region, but even grunters now face a familiar challenge.
Foreign competition. I didn't think I'd ever see it in the worms. There's some coming out of Europe now that's hurting this market bad.
Grunters are quick to tell you it is a tough life. But they say it is worth it, making their living from the land. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, in the Apalachicola National Forest, Florida.
We like that. That's our report on World News Tonight. Tomorrow on World News, the Pope is going to be in Greece, following in the footsteps of St. Paul, and he may get a very hostile reception. Don't forget Nightline later this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening and good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Does your minivan lack a safety device that might protect your family from real danger? Prevent your child from shifting it into gear? Tonight, what you may not know about some very popular minivans. Is yours one? Primetime tonight.
K2 News at 6:30 is brought to you by your friendly Northwest Dodge dealers. Connecting you to your world.
The picture? Hurry to the Maximum Karastan rug sale, now at Parker Furniture and Thomasville.